Hey guys, welcome to the channel, I guess. Well, as you can tell from the title, um, I have autism and ADHD. I made a video like this, I want to say it was last year or recent. I don't know. I can't remember. And in that video, I tried to express what it was and what having ADHD really, is, or autism or ADHD entails. And I don't think I did a really good job, in all honesty. Um, so in this video, I am going to rehash what I had said prior, and kind of express, what is like, if I can. So you're probably wondering, first and foremost, let's just, kind of straight out and say it, you're probably asking yourselves, well, how long were you diagnosed? How long recent was it? Like several months ago. It was. I've had it since birth. I've had it since birth, and I was diagnosed when I was 3. So I'm 30 years old now. So you could probably kind of do the math. I'm turning 31 this year. Um, so you could probably do the math of that. But yeah, I've been uh, diagnosed since 3, but I've had it all my life. Um, so you're probably wondering, well, what is it like having autism? Well, it's kind of a complicated thing because it's kind of simple, but it's also kind of complicated. For me, I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for other people. It was very difficult growing up because there was just things that I didn't understand or that I needed people to explain to me multiple times to the point of frustration, and I would ask questions, right? Because that's what I did. I always ask questions, whether it be at a job or doing work at my dad's house or mom's house or whatever the case may be. I always ask questions just to kind of clarify. And I could tell by the looks on their faces, well, I was trying to process what it is they were trying to explain to me, right? Whether like a job, right? Like if a job gave you a task, you ask questions, right? They shouldn't be annoyed at you, but that was the case for me. Um, and look, I'm not looking for any pity party. I'm not looking for like, oh, like pat yourself on the back or on the head. It's like, oh, it's going to be okay. No, I'm not looking for that. So let's just get that out of the way. I just wanted to express what it's like to have autism and ADHD. Well, growing up, I was unfortunately bullied because I didn't understand social skills. That was, I think, the one detriment to autism is that sometimes you don't learn very social skills very well, but you interpret things in a different way. So it's just kind of a net positive, right? Um, but I was bullied when I was younger, and because of that, I chose violence. Like legitimately chose violence to the point where I got kicked out of. At the time, I was in kindercare because this happened when I was in kindercare. Um, and I didn't understand it. I don't think my parents understood it. Um, but it kind of did give me a little bit it gave me a little bit of a smirk when the bully that was bullying me um was also got kicked out. I think that made me feel better. So obviously I developed a little bit of a trusting issue. Um, Even though my parents did everything they could to get me out and socialize, I was very introverted. I still am introverted. Um, in one-on-one situations, I can talk till the day is gone. However, in large groups, I'm not very sociable. I can care less what other people say. Um, whether it's being immediate family or not. I just don't know what to say or what to think. Um, I exist in conversations in large groups when everybody is talking all at once, and me having such a low toned, monotone voice, it really does speak a lot to my character. Like I said, I can only speak for myself. I know other people have it different. But heck, even Jacksepticeye came out and said, "Hey, I have autism." Right? So, but again, his experiences differ. So throughout school, kind of came alone. I kind of became a lone wolf, right? Didn't socialized, and I had very few friends growing up. Only two friends that I have now are friends that I've had since high school, or real life friends, not online friends. And I was like just existing. I was coasting, I guess you could say. I was coasting. And, once I got into high school, I was doing all right, and, I got good grades in school and passed all my classes for the most part. And that was it. So school wasn't really an issue. And then I got into college. After I think I had a summer job in 2014 because I graduated 2014. I got a summer job, and and then I went into college. Immediately went into college. And um when I say that it was a struggle, I wanted to be there was a couple things that I wanted to be. One, I wanted to be a YouTube or whatever. Number two, I wanted to be an auto mechanic. And that's what I went to school for. Or that's what I went to college for. Um, but I think one person I can draw example of, and she made a really great video, was Jaded Animations, who in her ADHD video, she kind of explained, and I'll use this as an example. I'm not saying this verbatim. Her in her example, she had a lot of structure in her life, but once that structure was gone, she dropped out of college, right? Because her mom and dad were like supporting her every step of the way and was sure she got to school on time and sure all that. I was in the same boat, right? All that structure was given by my parents. They made sure I went to school on time. They made sure I got to school on time, that I was properly dressed and everything like that. I'm kind of in the same boat. I dropped out of college just with absolutely no regrets in my life. Um, and it it was all right. I wasn't willing to do, like, I think the prerequisites math and English are probably my Achilles heel. Even though I did really good in math and English, I didn't really. But anyways, 2015 comes around, I get a job. I get another job. And it wasn't so much that the job me getting a job was the problem. It was it was me keeping them. I think that's the biggest question. But I have a roommate that's also disabled, mentally, or has a kind of a similar, I don't know what disability. He he mentioned that for years, it took years to kind of get people like me and him to really get recognized at regular jobs, because my experience, saying that you had autism or ADHD or any of that fact, or of any of that, wording, was seen as a red flag to most jobs. And I noticed that very early on with my first job. The first summer job I had, I mentioned that I had autism, ADHD. I could tell right away that they didn't know how to handle that. They didn't know how to interpret that. They didn't know what it was, weren't aware of it. Um, then I got a job in 2015, worked there for about a year, and again, they didn't treat me well. So I so I quit. I quit. And then, for I guess about 4 years, 5 no, 5 years, I worked for the most part. And it kind of stopped when COVID happened. I decided I didn't want to work and basically pursue my, you know, dream as becoming a YouTuber. Even though my parents didn't want that, I was like, well, what could they do? Like, I'm not living with them. Um, and that's how I thought about it. And at the time, my channel at the time, which is now deleted, I got about 14 subscribers, but then I ended up deleting it, whatever. And then this channel came about. I don't know why I was always so consistent. I don't know why I'm just so consistent in general. Maybe it comes with the territory. I don't know. But I always come back, right? My first name for this channel was Emperor Lorca. Not very flashy, I guess you could say. Then I rebranded to Lord Wolfie. Then I rebranded again to 985, and then I rebranded again to Jarl Wolfie. Kind of see a pattern. So I rebranded like a total of 4 times, 5 times. Then I landed on this channel for the 5th time. And here we are, and I decided to take it seriously and upload more consistently and, and everything like that. But having autism, like I said, you interpret things differently, right? Where people see a stopping point, I see opportunity, right? Where people see a goal, I see a continuous road where you decide what the stopping point is. And um, people can't tell you what your stopping point. You have to decide that for yourself. And if I don't make it, then I go back to a job, even though I don't want it. But yeah, um, I that's what it's like having autism. Like, you know, or at least from my personal perspective. It's you interpret things differently. I think the key things is you interpret things differently. You process things in a different light that is most normally not to a normal person, right? Where someone sees white, you see gray, right? You say, oh, there's a little bit of a gray area here, and you you can navigate. I can navigate through a conversation to kind of get to the end goal. That is what it's like having autism. And you're probably wondering, well, I'm a very good conversationalist. Look, I'm a very awkward human, as I said. Um, I'm not very sociable. I'm very introverted. And because of that, I don't really have a lot of friends. you know, in big groups and for big, gatherings, I don't really have a whole lot of things to say to people. Now, if I had an extrovert in my life, which I don't, I'm sure that, they could get me out of my shell, but I probably still be the same person. Anyways, that's about it, guys. Um, Hopefully this video will help you out. Maybe, and look, don't do what I do. Don't do what I do and stay in your for God knows how many. Get out and socialize. As a person who's kind of doesn't have really anything to do and does a lot of friends like that. So, anyways, like I said, I'm not looking for a pity party here. The exact opposite. I'm just trying to spread awareness for autism and just things in and what I've dealt with. Hopefully this will kind of resonate with you. Um, you know? And look, if this dream comes to fruition, great. Not, oh well. At least I can still work on it on the side. Anyways, guys, I'll catch y'all next time. Obviously links to all my socials will be in the description. Um, you know, if you wanted catch me live or hell, I might be live right now after this video goes live and stuff like that. So um but yeah, I'll catch you on the next time, guys. Peace.